Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Apex E-Series Showdown here on V-Speed Racing Network. Man, it has been a while. I feel like I got to get to know y'all again. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Eddie Smith, if you don't already know. And boy, we're getting ready for a fun night of racing here in the Apex E-Series Showdown. Well, it's been a long time since we have been on track here, and tonight, what a better way to start it off than here at Daytona. We've been here many a times. I don't need to tell you anything. You know all that you need to know. We'll go over it again. Daytona Beach, Florida, opened in 1959, racing on the beach beforehand, and they decided, you know what, this is a pain in the butt. Sand gets everywhere. Let's put it on the track. Let's get some asphalt, and let's make one of the fastest and most well-known speedways in the world. And here we are tonight on the virtual version to see who's going to take home the first race of the season here in I don't even know what season we're in. It's been a bunch, so really excited to get this thing rolling. Let's take a look at your schedule, as we've got just a little bit left in qualifying. People putting down qualifying laps at the moment, but look here at the schedule. That we got a long schedule. We're going to go all the way into August, so it's going to go through the spring, through the summer, and then we're going to end at almost the start of fall in at the end of Phoenix. So I mean, look at Daytona, Atlanta, Vegas. Going to be following the actual truck schedule. Going to be a fun one. It always is here in Apex. Always some really good racing. It's almost like a family affair here. Not really that much. You don't see a whole lot of tempers flaring. It's usually good. Just a whole lot of fun, and I think that's what we like to see, and that's what this is like a family tradition here at Apex. So looking forward to it. But got to talk about our sponsor, Jimmy, over at Apex Sim Racing Gear, ApexSimRacing.com. Go check them out, man. They got button boxes, they got light switches, switches for your rig. I always make the joke that if you walk in your bedroom and you go, you know what, this is boring. I do not like this at all. I get boring just flipping the same old light switch. Get you a rocker switch, man. Throw it up on there and make your house something special. But if you got a sim rig, I mean, definitely go check them out. The quality is really unmatched, and I tell you what, as far as support and stuff, I'm telling you, you really can't beat it. So definitely go check them out. They'll be the sponsor this season. So always great to have Jimmy. And at the end of the season, I mean, you get a button box, a champion. Whoever wins this thing gets to take home just an amazing piece of equipment that really adds to your sim rig. So definitely want to thank them as always. Take a look at your vehicle, and of course we know we got the trucks. We got the Chevy, Ford, and the Toyota. 650 horsepower, 4 gear. I mean, this is the just the bare bones of any kind of stock car. No bells and whistles of the next gen car, all that extra stuff like sequential shifters. Boo, get out of here with that. I want a 4-gear H pattern down to the floor. That way, if I'm Chuck Phelps, I'll miss a gear and stack up a whole line. That's what I like to see. So and that's what you got. You got the most raw type of vehicle. Not as much horsepower, but the way that they're shaped, they punch a large hole in the air. And so just like the next gen, big pushes, those bumpers line up just nicely. Big pushes, big draft. And that's going to be the name of the game tonight, is working together with others to try to get out there and win this race. And Daytona, if you ever win at Daytona, even if it's virtual, I tell you, it really does make a big difference, and especially on your season. You get locked into the playoffs. William Byron in the Cup Series locked into the playoffs, and what a great way to start your season than to not have to worry about the playoffs for this long season. So definitely be a good night to do that. Take a look at your race analysis. The NASCAR Craftsman Trucks fixed setup. As always, 90 laps here tonight. So, a little long race. Going to be a nice one to settle in, kind of get the bearings going, getting used to the folks again, and maybe getting up there and voice chatting, just having a good time and chitty chatting with somebody. Got a stage break at lap 30. You do have stage points for the top 5. So you want to battle for those positions and get out front. And if you can get that stage win, that sure will set you up. And those stages are going to be really important as we move through the season. And of course, you got a fast repair. In this league, they do have fast repair. If you make a mistake, dadgummit that you're not just out of this thing, and you get to jump right back in and try again. So we'll see how it all plays out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love Apex, man. It's just a different type of environment. I love the guys that run it. Aaron, one of my good friends, and it's always good when Apex comes back. It's been a while, so I've always looked forward to these races. They always put on a really good show, and tonight, oh man, we've got about 20 drivers here that are going to be starting this thing. We want to work together. We got to get out there. We got to work with guys maybe that's not on your team. That's going to be something really, really important. But what I love about Daytona is the fact that everybody's got a chance to win, and that is definitely the case tonight. Let's go through your starting order, and we've got some sponsors as always. But if you're new to this series, you know that we got to give out Chuck Peg Leg Pole Award winner to whoever starts on the front row, and that's going to be Brandon Wallace with that top time 52.0. So Brandon Wallace laying it down as he'll take the first Chuck Peg Leg Pole Award of the season as we get through your Low Cash Motorsports starting grid. And let's get to what is this music? What is it? I'm about to fall asleep. Give me something good, guys. Good enough. All right, Alan Smith going to start on the front row right next to him with a 52.111. And that number 3 truck is going to be fast tonight. He's going to be up there mixing it up all night long for sure. Alan Nash going to be starting in row number 2 in that number 27 with Christian Dedman starting in 4th. Jonathan Cofield going to start in 5th with 6th, Daniel Cunningham. 7th going to be Daniel Holdcroft with Tracy Patsons there in 8th position. 9th going to be Kip Easley with Matt Rogers rounding out your top 10. Aaron Adcock going to start in 11th. Kyle Roberts going to start in 12th. That's somebody to watch for sure. He comes alive when it comes to plate racing. 13th going to be Chuck Pegleg Feltz, Michael Kosick in 14th. 15th going to be Anthony Edgerton with Garrett Kinder in that number 13 Ford F-150 going to start in 16th. 17th going to be Charles Stevens with Ray Rogers in 18th, and in rolling the field is going to be Josh Lokovitz. And that's your grid. That's your Low Cash Motorsports starting grid as we are already getting this thing rolling. So should be a lot of fun tonight. We'll see who's going to be aggressive early, who wants to go after the stage points, who wants to take it easy, ride in the back. You're going to see all kinds of strategies when it comes to plate racing. And that's part of the fun, I think. But it also has a little animosity. It makes people nervous. They get frustrated with each other, and that kind of can throw off what people have different plans of what they want to do. Some people want to ride. You kind of ride in the back, and somebody gets on your bumper, starts pushing. You're like, hey, what are you doing? And so you kind of have to find people that you want to work with, get together with them, and kind of settle in where you want to be. Run into the stage break at lap 30. I think after that we'll start to see some guys settle down, and yeah. All right, well, here we go. Pace truck is going to pull off. We've got 90 laps here tonight in the Apex Sim Racing E-Series. Pace truck pulls off. Brandon Wallace going to lead us down to the green flag, and green flag is out here in the Apex E-Series. All right, as they get up to speed, you can see the lines starting to get a little bit closer, but obviously a little bit of, hey, let's just hang out, see how everything goes. Nobody really do anything crazy. Kip easily drops a couple tires down below the yellow line, just kind of feeling everything out. You don't see any big pushes, but you definitely can see that bottom line is a little bit more organized at the moment as Alan Smith, you can see, just not able to keep that going As see the bottom three there are all nose to tail, and that's really allowing them to get more speed as they come to lap one. Everything's starting to get wound up at the moment. You can see that top line just falling apart as everybody's really organized there down on the bottom. Take a look at your weather. I don't think it's going to matter that much right now. 74 degrees. You can start to see the sun set, which is always good. Good for a broadcast when the sun is setting and there's no sunshine on the track. But I don't think track temp's going to be a factor. But bottom line, where everybody seems to want to be at the moment, as you got about 4 trucks there on the outside, a big gap back to some drivers in the back. But you can see Alan Smith here with the 08 of Daniel Cunningham on the outside of the track, and they're getting a little head of steam here as Daniel has started to push that number 3 truck. I want to say Daniel Cunningham new to this particular series, and you see kind of not really pushing, just trying to stay as close as possible, and it's really working right now as that top side has now got enough momentum that they have drawn even with the bottom line. So doing a good job. You don't have to push. You see Cunningham able to get this done without doing it. You can go up there and give them a shove every once in a while, but you don't have to be too aggressive, especially here early. You see Alan Smith down there in that 3. He is really side drafting that bottom line. And you got to say, well, why do that so early? But I think in plate races, if you're not being aggressive, you're not trying to maintain track position, you'll find yourself in trouble early on for sure. So he is he's being a little aggressive, but I think that's okay. That side draft does make a difference. I mean, it's not as pronounced as in the next-gen car, but in the truck, you drive down there to someone's right rear quarter panel, and you can really start to pull that line back towards you and allow you to stay even with them. So doing a little bit of side drafting, but you see there's still a pretty nice little gap between the 2 lanes, and you'll see that as the race continues to go on, that will get tighter and tighter, and we'll come down to the end of this thing where it comes down to checkered flag. There'll be almost no gap between the 2 lines. They'll be side drafting the heck out of each other. So right now, everybody playing pretty smart. Right now, I think what you're doing is, if you're new to the series, if you haven't run here before, you're trying to figure out who's who can I trust. Even if you've been racing here for a while, you only run a couple plate races a season, and so you don't really know who can handle the push, who can hold their line. You get in front of somebody, get behind somebody, and they're weaving all over the place. Oh Lord, I can't work with this guy. Let me just move let me move to a different lane or something. So you're trying to figure out who can take a push, who's a little nervous. You see that top line snaking just a little bit, but I mean, you can see Allen moving around a little bit, but Daniel is taking care of him. He's not getting up on his bumper, pushing him. He's staying close where they're able to get that run, but he's also not upsetting that number 3 truck. So I know right now Alan Smith enjoying that because he's out there leading that top line. We don't see anybody stepping out making 3 wide. Talladega's a little bit more, I think people are more comfortable there. Daytona can definitely do 3 wide, but I think it's a little bit too early. Early in the season, early in the race, we're going 3 wide, and I think that's why you're seeing everybody kind of being smart. See some gaps. You see Charles Stevens back there in that red and white Simrat Market truck, and he's got a big gap in front of him. Just trying to make sure that they save a little bit of fuel if they need to, but nothing crazy, no wild moves as of yet. Down at the back, though, you got Ray Rogers. He knows the deal. Now, Ray Rogers, one of the best drivers in the field, no doubt. I mean, he went on a tear at the end of the season. I don't think he was eligible for the playoffs or moving on to a next round or something like that, but I think he won like 4 out of 5, maybe 5 in a row towards the end of the season. I mean, just an unbelievable driver. Definitely has the skill to win every single week. But plate races, you think about Kyle Larson at a plate race. If you're a Kyle Larson fan, you think, well, okay, we're going to Vegas, we're going to Martinsville, we're going to any track you think Larson's got a chance to win, except for plate track. And I feel like Ray Rogers gets caught up in so much stuff that he is always kind of just trying to make it through the races. You know, he knows he doesn't need to count on this race. He knows he's going to get a win somewhere else. So he can afford to kind of take it easy, not get up there, get caught up in something too early, and he's normally hanging around the back if he needs to. And you see he's got a lot of space to try to make that happen. He won't get any stage points doing that, but like I said, I think if Ray is able to run for the championship this season, stage points are going to come early and often for him. So he's hanging out in the back. He's got Anthony Edgerton, Josh Lokovitz, and Michael Kostick along with him. Let's go on board with Josh Lokovitz, and let's take a look at some of our driver cams. We've got a bunch of them here tonight, so we'll try to highlight some as we get them. But look at Lokovitz back here, staring down the back bumper of Charles Stevens. They are teammates, and they are obviously working together, trying to stay nose to tail, stay in this thing, but obviously not being too aggressive, just riding. And that's kind of the name of the game right now. If you're in Discord, I like to be in, you're in there cutting up, joking at the moment. It's an easy time. This is like a Friday afternoon drive home. It's not necessarily the easiest drive, but it sure is pretty laid back. Nobody's really putting you too much, in too much. You're 2x2, nose to tail. You're kind of checking up, having to work the throttle, the brake. You have to watch the lines. You're listening for people going up, all that kind of stuff. And you just ride. You hear him lifting that throttle. You see, if he feels that truck come back towards him, gets a run, I'm going to lift off. You hear that lift again is just maintaining that position and trying to make sure that he doesn't get to the back of his teammate. There's no point in taking a run if you got nowhere to go with it. So that's what you're doing right now. These guys just taking it easy, going for a Sunday drive. And right now, looks like Josh Lokovitz got it going on. Up front is Brandon Wallace. As look like Alan Smith fell back a little bit, and looks like Daniel Holcroft there up at the top of the track has gotten up into that second lane, and he decided he wants to get up there and maybe try to make something happen. I think that's actually Jonathan Cofield. I'm still learning these new paint schemes, and it is Cofield there on the outside with Alan Smith pushing him. On board with Alan Smith here is Cofield decided he wanted to get up there, and you can see a little bit more aggressive with the side drafting. Allen was giving a little bit of contact between Holcroft and Alan Nash, and we almost saw a wreck. And so you could see the effects as everybody kind of felt that, and you could see it kind of ripple towards the back of the field as everybody really risk averse. You could see the lines just die here as the bottom line really breaks up after that. See those big gaps as that really made people nervous. But Cofield's being really aggressive on the side drafting, but he knows and he can handle it. But it's a little surprising to see it that aggressive early, as it would take but one little small mistake for somebody, one little oof on the steering wheel, and we're going around. So we got some old friends in the chat. Look how close they are. My goodness, almost making contact. Got Kevin Ken and Ratchet Miller in chat. Don't get to see them that often these days, but they are back, and we're glad to have y'all part of the broadcast. Y'all keeping me in check. I've had free reign, do whatever the heck I want, make all these mistakes. I ain't had y'all to keep me in check, because Alan Smith's going to go kind of drift up the track there. I thought maybe he was going to pull out and go around Cofield, but decided not to. May have just got a little out of shape or just got a little bit lazy on the steering wheel. That's one thing about this plate racing that you don't really think about is, when you're out there just chilling and driving, you're not locked in. You don't have those muscles tensed up, like you do at other tracks where you're trying to have competitive laps and consistent laps every lap that you go around. It requires a lot of muscle, where you constantly just kind of almost stressed out a little bit. But here you can kind of get a little bit lazy and not really be able to react if things happen in front of you or beside you, because you're just kind of hanging out. You're chilling. You're not really putting a whole lot of whole lot of steering wheel input or whatnot into it. So right now, still Brandon Wallace got Alan Nash there on the inside, and it is side by side. I don't know if Cofield has led a lap yet, but he is now starting to inch his way up front. Got a good run through the middle of that corner, and they almost touch. And I think right here, Alan Smith a little bit wild behind him. Needs to, oh my goodness. And I don't know if Cofield was able to lead that lap because Alan was kind of weaving back and forth. I think they're not really sure. It's hard to say why that happens sometimes. I think maybe people have their steering ratios a little bit too high. I think a lot of people get nervous of having it at a certain, big surge there for Jonathan Cofield. Some people put their steering ratios like 16 to 1 on super speedways, and that requires, if you're not used to it, it requires a lot more input to make the truck do what you want to do. You got to turn the wheel a whole lot more, and I tell you, Alan is really going back and forth behind the 58, and that's got to make you nervous if you're Cofield. Oh, and Brandon Wallace going to pull up in front of Jonathan Cofield, and I don't know why. He had the bottom. He was good to go and decided he was ready to maybe make something happen. I think it made everybody nervous because everybody kind of moved around, and Brandon Wallace blocking both lanes now. He went to the top, blocked Cofield. Now, oh my goodness, I don't know if we had some people lift out of it, got real nervous, or somebody got into the wall. I didn't really see. Looks like had some incidents here. See if we can go back and maybe see what happened. We'll take a little replay here. Look here at where Garrett Kinder is. Oh, yeah, you can see a little check up there. And actually, Garrett Kinder going to get into the wall. Let's back that up just a little bit. Don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but go on board with Garrett Kinder here. You see he had a checkup, got hit from behind. They both go into the wall, and that's where that big checkup was happening. First little Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage rewind of the season. Well, starting to close in just a little bit on this stage break. Right now, Brandon Wallace is out front. Jonathan Cofield has been controlling that outside line for a while with Alan Smith starting to push him here. You can see being aggressive here on the pushes. You can see that's what makes you nervous because all it would take is one little move. So I don't know why he is weaving so much. We're going to have a talk about this, I think. We're going to have to upgrade probably that G25 Alan Smith is using. Did give a nice little push down the back straightaway, and that is going to surge. Well, I thought it was going to surge Cofield out there, but I think Cofield actually kind of lifted a little bit, so I'm not real sure what happened there. He had the push, and Cofield kind of looked like he backed off, so. If you plan on battling out for the championship, these stage points are going to matter. These guys hanging around in the back, you know, they're not going to get those stage points. And the whole idea of stage points was to encourage guys to race, get out there and have a race and not just ride around single file. And that's exactly what it's going to do here. In a plate race, it doesn't really change much. It makes guys race a little bit harder early on to try to, maintain their track position. But at the other tracks, moving forward, that really kind of changes how you race from the beginning of the race. You can kind of push a little bit, burn the tires up because you don't have to worry about saving too much. As Cofield looks like he might be able to lead that lap. And no, Brandon Wallace still scored as your leader. Cofield going to drop down in front of Brandon Wallace now as we cross over to lap 20. Brandon Wallace said, nope, no thank you, I'm not following you. Goes right up to the outside. Now he's going to lead that top line. Take a look here at Brandon Wallace as he tries to lead that top line with Alan Smith there on his back bumper. Getting a big push from Allen here as the 3 has really been aggressive here on this top side. He has been all over. You got to worry about the whole temperature situation. That's one thing you got to be paying attention to. You don't want to let that truck get too overheated. Kind of peak he's kind of peaking the front end out just a little bit, but doesn't have to push this hard. I just don't know if it's worth it at the moment to overheat that truck. If you can push it a little bit too far, you can end up in trouble where you got to pull out. And oh my goodness, really shoots up the track in 3 and 4. So I don't know what's going on with the 3 truck, but Jonathan Cofield has the lead for now. Alan Nash been tucked behind whoever's there on the bottom line. He is like, I'm not moving from this spot. We've seen different leaders of the lines. They've kind of flip-flopped at this moment. But Alan Nash, Daniel Holcroft, and Kip Easley have been down there on the bottom this whole time. And Alan Smith's been there second in line on the top side. You can see a big old gap back to Daniel Cunningham on the top side. So one thing you want to be doing right now is you got the stage break coming up. If you're not up here, when do you decide to go? Try to make some moves if you want to get up there and get stage points. I think if you're looking for stage points, you would already been up here racing. So these guys mostly going to finish right where they are, I would believe. I don't believe we're going to see anybody lock up, try to come from the back. That'd be pretty wild just for some stage points. I think they'd have worked themselves up here already. But man, look at Brandon Wallace getting down. Right tucked up against that bottom line, trying to get that side draft as they come down the straightaway. Oh, Jonathan Cofield blinks out a little bit, and I think that's going to allow Brandon Wallace to lead that lap as they're coming to 5 to go to the stage here. And Brandon Wallace is going to abandon the top line yet again, drop down in front of Jonathan Cofield. So now Alan Smith back out in front. And his engine probably going to appreciate that. Going to let it cool off just a little bit as they go roaring down the back straightaway. But now's the time to try things out. I mean, you're not really going to come from the back to the front. There's no reason, winning the stage does give you a lot of points, but it's not worth, having a big pile up over like you see a lot at the end of these races. But, I'll be interested to see how this thing ends. But right now, you're just trying to play around, see how things work, see what you can do, try out some moves, see how long you can push before you feel like you're going to overheat. All those type of things is something you can do right here, right now, because you're going to get that caution to come back down, get some fuel, get tires if you want them. You really don't need tires, but cool those things down. And here comes Alan Nash out to the outside. It's Alan and Alan show on the outside as he's going to go up, try to take that top line. And Alan Smith going to push him maybe to a stage win. Alan getting as close as he possibly can without actually making contact. The closer you can get to that driver in front of you. I mean, you can get on him and push, but as long as you stay right up at the bumper and you don't allow that little bubble to form between you and the driver in front of you, you're getting a lot of speed. The draft is working like it's supposed to. A good shove will help down the straightaway, but as long as you can stay close, you kind of get right to the back bumper, drag the brake a little bit, and you're going to see him get right to the back bumper. Give Allen a little bit of shove. Will he be able to clear him as it goes? Oh, my goodness, I don't know why they're doing that. My goodness. Alan Smith just seems a little nervous here. I don't know what the deal is. He kind of shot up like he was going to go to the outside or something. I don't know, but really killed the line on the outside, and they're going to fall back just a little bit. We've seen that a couple times out of him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's overheating and he's trying to cool it off, but, I mean, he's in danger of right hooking the 27 if he's not careful. That's not something you want to do. You don't want to use that fast repair this early. And that's a danger zone. I don't know how they did make contact. We know iRacing has improved their net code, but that was so close to being a big, big wreck, as the 3 was definitely right there on that right quarter, but he's going to do it again. So I don't know what he's got going on. I don't know if he's trying to get some air or what, but gosh, it's making me nervous up here. I'm starting to sweat. But Brandon Wallace still leading that line as they're coming down to take lap 29. Cofield's now going to go up the outside, and he's going to try to take that momentum from the outside and try to take over this lead. They wasn't able to quite clear him as Brandon Wallace dropped back to Holcroft, and they got a nice little shove, so didn't get him the lead, but now he's going to be up front. He's going to be leading that pack. Now Alan Nash is going to be doing the big pushes right here. You can see everything's getting closer. We were all spread out earlier, but now it's all changed. Everybody's bumper to bumper, and we're side by side. You couldn't put a piece of paper between these drivers. Now, in this league, I'm not real sure if the flag drops at 30 or after 30. We're going to find out together. So this is coming down to what could be the stage. We'll see when Race Control throws the caution. And across the line, Brandon Wallace is in the lead, and caution does fly. So right at lap 30, caution comes out, and Brandon Wallace going to take your stage 1 victory. And he worked hard for it. He was up front all race long. And so we'll see if he can continue that success and do it for 60 more laps. I mean, he honestly looks a little out of breath. See him take some big old breaths there trying to catch his breath is, and I'll tell you, it takes a lot of work to to get around this track and manage these lines, take these big pushes, move around, trying to position yourself. Brandon Wallace was able to get it done and take the stage win, so he'll get all those stage points in your top 5. Brandon Wallace, I believe, Cofield, Holcroft, Nash, and Easley going to be your top 5 for that stage. All right, let's bring Brandon Wallace up in here. We're going to talk to him. Brandon, this Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Eddie. How are you, brother?
Man, doing good. You got the stage win. You tell you what, it wasn't for a lack of trying. You was up there working hard, trying to stay up front, taking pushes, moving lines, trying to make sure you could have that track position, stay up front. So talk a little bit about that. What was that your plan going forward? And what's your plan going into this next stage?
Yeah, I wanted to stay in the front, qualified up front, so just wanted to kind of stay there. Figured that was the safest place, and just was having great push by teammate Allen, and then Cofield come up there, and I didn't want him to go around me, so I was doing everything I could to keep him back. So just a matter of staying up front, trying to keep the lead.
All right, well, that you did, so you're going to have a pit stop here. Good luck in the next stage, but congratulations on that first stage of the year.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
There you have it. Brandon Wallace coming into his pit stall and everybody going to come down. Be interested to see if we have any 4 tire takers or no tire takers. You don't really see tires being a factor, but you know, you got to take a full tank of fuel. You might as well. And ooh, Brandon Wallace still sitting on pit road, so I wonder if Brandon didn't get a speed penalty. And not real sure. No, he may have a little bit of damage. About 26 seconds he was on pit road, so. Not really sure what happened to Brandon, but yeah, 26 seconds on pit road. Maybe just wanted to go to the back after getting that stage win. Got those points and decided, you know what, I'm just going to go to the back, hang around. Now, curious, Charles Stevens stays out here under that. He's got a bunch of damage on the front end. You can see that 84 machine looks pretty rough. Kind of pushed in on the front bumper there, so he's definitely made some contact. But interesting to see him not come down pit roads. I don't know if that was a mistake or what exactly happened there. But I have to imagine he would come down pit road here. Got some guys doing some damage repair. Ray Rogers was down there for 31 seconds. Chuck Feltz down for 40. And Garrett Kinder, we saw him make contact with the outside wall. He was down there for over a minute trying to get that damage fixed, trying to save that fast repair if you can. They all have their fast repair still, which is something that you want to do. Try to fix as much damage as you can to see Charles Stevens come down pit road now. But, yeah, I think, you know, Charles is going to get a little bit more fuel than anybody else. So we'll see how this plays out. One thing to be thinking about is the guys are going to have to make a pit stop. I don't know if they can make, well, I'm pretty sure they cannot make 60 laps here under green. So we're going to have a green flag pit stop. So some of these guys getting as much fuel as they can. Charles Stevens going to go to the back anyway. He's getting some damage fixed right now. He's about 40 seconds he's been on pit road. We haven't got the 1 to green yet, so he's got plenty of time to get that done. Oh, we do have the 1 to green. Yeah, so Charles is going to have to get with it. I thought maybe he had one more lap, but you see the lights are off on the pace truck. All right, so we saw the strategies to get up front. Brandon Wallace wanted to get up there, stay up front, be aggressive, get those stage points, and he definitely made that happen. Now, the strategy is going to flip-flop. He's going to the back. He said, all right, I did what I need to do. I've got my fast repair. I've got my stage points. Now I'm just going to hang around and see if I can miss the wreck, the calamity that may or may not happen. You know, I don't know. I thought the strategy he was employing was pretty good. It's going to keep him up front. But he's thinking about fuel now. During the stage, he didn't have to save any fuel. But now he can go to the back, kind of ride around in the draft, run around half throttle, and save as much fuel as possible. So you're going to see the strategies change here, and we'll see who continues to be aggressive or who, you know, kind of goes to the back and rides like Brandon Wallace. Cofield going to lead us down to the green flag. Got Alan Nash beside him, so they are definitely not going to the back. I mean, if everybody goes to the back, somebody's going to be on the front. So it looks like it's going to be Cofield down in the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. And we've got about 57 laps to go here in this first race of the season. Again, seeing that bottom line be strong here on halfway through the first lap. It takes a while for that top line to get. Oh, is Cofield going to blink out again? Takes a while for that top line to get organized, but you can see down the back straightaway with Cofield and Holcroft down on the bottom. You see Cunningham and Alan Nash there on the top side. With Michael Kostick now joining the battle of those teammates. That top side starting to get a big push. Looks like Charles Stevens coming back down pit road. He must have had a penalty, and I wonder with him, that's the reason why maybe I was confused that he had. I thought he had another lap because he came down when the pit road was closed. So he'll have to come down. I don't know if it's a drive-through or a stop and go. It looks like a drive-through. So he's got to complete a drive-through penalty, and that is horrible. That stinks. Now he's got to hope for a caution, or he is going to be in big trouble. So I was wondering what he was doing, and he decided to come down when the pits were closed. And at that point, he had to come down because he was going to run out of fuel. So tough break there for Charles Stevens in the 84. Up front, I mean, we've seen a little bit of nervous energy from time to time, but nothing too crazy. Everything kind of was pretty tame there in that first stage. Do we continue to see that aggression we saw earlier? Do we see everybody kind of take it easy, maybe run single file? We see 2 lanes, but we don't see too many aggressive pushes. Right now, I mean, Holcroft really, the only one that's really aggressive you can see back between the 8 and the 3, there's a big gap there on the bottom. So just not a whole lot of urgency out of this pack, which is a good thing. I mean, that means that guys aren't making crazy moves. They're not doing wild maneuvers to try to go 3 wide. And you see everybody just kind of like a, the chain's not tight. It's sort of a loose chain. You got to take the tension out of it, and it kind of flops around. That's the way it looks out there. Just a loose chain out there. Everybody just riding, trying to make it to the end. We still got a long way to go. That bodes pretty well for these guys that are up front. Because if we stay green, we're going to have a green flag pit stop, most likely for fuel only. Now, when will they come down? Once we have green flag pit stops, if we do, as long as we can avoid a caution, the big one, it really benefits if you have some teammates. So we're going to see who has the best teamwork. We see plate racing is probably the most popular form of racing. Well, I guess you can't call it plate racing anymore. It's super speedway racing on the surface. I mean, there's no doubt about it, because you feel like you can win anytime you join a session, which is always a great feeling. But in these races, you're going to see teams be the biggest factor to winning races. I've seen teams completely control races. Oh, Holcroft, woo, went down below the yellow. I don't think he meant to do that, and I thought he was going to turn the 58. Very close. But you're going to see teamwork be a huge factor. I mean, in these big money plate races that you see out there, these guys, 4 or 5, 6 guys get together, and, man, they can really dominate a plate race if you can get the teamwork, everybody on your team to kind of buy into a certain strategy and execute that strategy flawlessly. You can be successful here at these tracks like this. So I think that'll be, if we get a green flag stop, who is the best team, who comes down and gets on and off pit road. I mean, I was doing some practice, and you can see Holcroft weaving, making me nervous. Nervous energy up front. But, yeah, doing some practice for a next-gen Daytona race coming up soon. And, we were practicing trying to get on and off pit road together. So if you do get those green flag stops, that is so important that y'all get on pit road and get off and nobody loses the draft. That way you can get connected and you don't lose any time, because it doesn't take much. As, man, Holcroft and Kip Easley, they've been waiting on that moment where they can get some clearance. And Cofield, without any help here on the bottom side, and they're going to rock it towards the front as the 58 is going to fall back to the 3 truck. And we're going to be able to stop that, kind of gets that momentum back going. But Holcroft decides he wants to get up there and lead some laps, and they're going to go up there together and take the lead. And that's that teamwork right there. That is to a T how you get it done. Both those drivers saying, hey, we want to go to the front and control this line. We need to get rid of this 58. And so they go around him on the outside, drop down, and now they control the race. But going back to what I was talking about, you come down pit road, everybody's got to get on the brakes. You got to get as much as you can. You can't get off the brakes, roll down under green flag conditions. You start losing seconds if you do that. and you might miss the pack once everything cycles around. You got to get on the brakes as hard as you can together, not run into each other, not speed. You can see Charles Stevens about to go a lap down, but you want to get into your stall. Make sure nobody messes up and takes tires when they just want to take fuel. Everybody got to drop the jacks, not spin the tires. Get out of the pit road without. You see, you got 3 wide back there. I think that's Aaron Adcock going 3. No, that's Garrett Kinder in that black 13 going 3 wide. Is the pack going to catch up to Charles Stevens here? It's a nervous moment. Everybody's got to mind their P's and Q's as they're going to try to go around Charles Stevens. Charles trying to stay up out of the groove. Everybody gets around him without any issue. Great job by everybody there. But yeah, you want to come off pit road, and you want to be nose to tail. You're coming up through the gears. You want to be right there. And if anybody makes a mistake, that could be the difference between you winning the race or maybe missing the draft. So it's important here that you get hooked up with your teammates. You know when you're going to go in and you make that stop as soon as you can. Plate racing is just different. You know, you don't really account for 4 tires, and you're always thinking about fuel. You want to come down and where you can take the least amount of fuel as possible, because every second that you spend in pit road filling up with gas, unnecessary fuel, that is seconds on the track, and that could be a big deficit you're going to have to overcome. If you come down and take just 3 seconds of fuel versus 6 seconds of fuel, that's a big difference. So you want to make sure you come down at the right moment. As you're seeing that top line now being sort of pushed out ahead as Cofield and Alan Nash have a pretty massive gap, and Alan Nash now going to drop down to the bottom in front of Daniel Holcroft, and now Cofield is going to be latched on with his teammates there on the outside, so it kind of worked out good for him. A while back, iRacing introduced the auto fuel feature in iRacing now. So you can go down pit road, and iRacing will automatically calculate based on how much fuel you've been using, how much you need to get to the end of the race based on the lap counts. Ooh, my goodness. What's everybody doing? Based on the lap counts, and you can really could save time on pit road with something like that, since we don't need to take tires. So all part of the strategy right here to come out is you're going to have green flag stops, which looks like we're going to have. And I think you want to come down as late as possible. You don't want to come down early, because if a caution comes and you're, Daytona, you can go in and get fuel only and come out ahead of the pack, but it won't take long for you to go a lap down. So you have to think about that. And I think you want to run as long as you possibly can here. Oh, I think we got 3 wide for the lead. As Alan Nash, no friends, it looks like, he's going to go backwards through the middle. And I don't know what happened, but Alan now going to try to settle in. He gets a little break from his teammate, Garrett Kinder. But unfortunately, I think Josh Lokovitz was trying to help his teammate out, and now he's 3 wide. Here comes Ray Rogers in that 51 behind Matt Rogers, and Josh Lokovitz kind of stuck up there on the outside now with no help. Charles Stevens is up there, but I don't think he really wants to do anything. So, and Lokovitz going to get into the wall there. He's going to pull it off the wall, and he's going to lose a ton of time, and it looks like he's going to be able to settle in here, but very, very close moment there as he kind of got strung out there on the outside. Well, we got to check in on some of our cameras. Check in on maybe we'll check in on Aaron Adcock here. Number 17, kind of been chilling back here where he started all race long. Hadn't seen him make any moves. Garrett Kinder started to work his way towards the front, but you can see Aaron kind of just hanging out. You can hear the lift, throttle about 75%, just hanging out, not really pushing the issue. You see a nice big gap right in front of him, just waiting on if a caution happens. You can see just how big of a run he gets as the top side really checks up. You think riding, just kind of chilling out riding in the back is stress-free, but it ain't. You can see just how much you have to pay attention. And if you lapse in judgment, you look away from the screen for just 1 second, do a little texting and driving, you can see how quickly these runs happen and these checkups happen that you get into the back of somebody. We saw that already earlier in the race when Garrett Kenner got into the wall. Just a big checkup that was a chain reaction that could have been a massive wreck. So. But up front, man, they are being very, very aggressive as I don't know how the heck it happened, but Kip Easley got around Daniel Holcroft, and they have just swapped positions there down on the bottom. And, man, look at Cofield really side drafting that bottom line down the back straightaway. Cofield now has his teammates behind him. He's got Daniel Cunningham and Michael Cossack. They are the Bandits bunch, and you got Matt Rogers behind him and Ray Rogers there on the top side. So that's a very, very strong outside line. And I think you just want to control what you can control. I mean, 3 wide obviously is not really an option for these guys just yet. I mean, somebody could, but I don't think we'll see that. And I think in a lot of leagues like this, 3 wide is kind of frowned upon. I think we all kind of sit here and go, well, that's the whole point of a speedway like this. You know, Talladega, people feel comfortable, but when this is online racing, and Daytona's a little bit more narrow, so 3 wide is a little bit more nerve-wracking. So we'll see people kind of shy away from that. Especially early in a race. But you get somebody mad going 3 wide. I'll tell you what, you go 3 wide on somebody, boy, they will drag you through the mud on voice comms and on the Discord later. They do not like. And see, really, oh my goodness, Matt Rogers over the top to the bottom there. Oh, he's into the wall. I don't know what's going on with Matt. But 96 going backwards as he had a, I don't know, big scare in the trial. Everybody had to avoid him. And now he's up out of the groove. He's going to fall in right in front of Josh Okovitz, but scary moment there for the field. Oh, my goodness, now Matt Rogers, or Ray Rogers, excuse me, goes to the outside. And I don't know if he thought he was going to have some help or what happened, but what's going on? The 17 now is getting up there of Aaron Adcock. He goes right around Ray Rogers. I'm not sure what happened. I couldn't see. I just saw Ray get up out of the groove, and now they kind of traded positions. So we still got a long race to go. I mean, these guys are racing like it's down near the last lap. Well, we got 40 laps to go, and we still got a pit stop to do. So I think, you know, right now, you know, I don't really know what you're racing for. I'd be trying to get connected with my teammates, get my plan, make sure everybody's, I'd be telling it. I'm bad about this. I get in there and say, hey, guys, everybody look at your tires. Everybody make sure you got your tires unchecked. Make sure you got your fuel set to what we're going to do. Everybody needs to be on the same page. And I'd be in there talking. I'd be just trying to ride and stuff, try to make sure we're all on the same page when it comes down to make a pit stop. But these guys they're mixing it up here. We still got a long way to go. Just over halfway here. Just 5 laps, 6 laps, now we're halfway. And people on the broadcast are noticing just the trucks kind of weaving back and forth. You can see the movement. I don't like what you see in real life. Corey LaJoy, who raced in the truck series at Daytona, you know, kind of commented about that. Said, hey, look, you know, the trucks were all over the place. The wind that these things get down the straightaways, and we talked about it earlier. The amount of the hole that they punch into the air is so massive, it just causes all these wakes. And when you get in a big pack like this, it's just a lot of air going all kinds of places, and it will really move these trucks around. And honestly, it does feel that way in the sim, not as pronounced as I'm sure in real life, but you kind of see this type of stuff in real life as well. But Kip Easley in that number 8 Walmart truck, Daniel Holcroft, they have found their way to the front, and they have not relinquished it yet. If you've ever heard me talk about a plate race, I tell you, you talk about the left tackle being one of the best positions, the most important positions in football. But in Super Speedway racing. Second guy on the bottom is one of the most powerful drivers in the field because he controls the race. If you have a guy out front working with you, if y'all are working together like this, you can control the race. You see Holcroft get a little bit out of shape there, and that allowed Alan Nash to get his nose out front. He's actually going to pull down and take over that top spot down at the bottom. And that's where Holcroft had that power, and you saw he got a little bit loose, got out of shape, and that allowed Alan Nash to drop down in front of him. So now Kip Beasley is the most powerful guy on the track right now because he controls everything. You want to get up there and push. Whenever you see the top line about to get a run, you push as hard as you can to try to keep those guys from jumping down in front of you. And then when they start to fall back, that run dies out. You can kind of back off, let the truck cool down a little bit. And you kind of keep that cycle going, which allows you to maintain position. Because if you don't, Kip Beasley was leading that bottom line to begin with. Now Alan Smith's going to go around. They go 3 wide, and the 19 makes contact. They're going to come up in front of the 77 of Anthony Anderson in the first caution of the night as Alan Smith goes around here on lap 55. Take a look at it on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. See what happened to the number 3 machine. He kind of got stuck 3 wide here as Christian Dedman goes below the yellow line, and the 3 was trying to avoid maybe the 13 a little bit as the 13 had gone up the track. Going board with Dedman here. You'll see the 13 go down. That was just a big checkup. The big checkup down on the bottom line. And you see it ripple back as the 13 goes down to the apron, and Allen sort of makes a big wild move to avoid it, and when he did, he goes up, opens the door, and Christian Dedman was down there, goes below the yellow, and they make contact. So I can't really say whose fault that was. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but you can see right here, 13 goes down to the apron. Alan Smith said, "Ooh, I'm out of here. I don't want anything to do with that," and Dedman going to make contact with the 3 instead of just lifting. You know, he was just trying to fill that gap, but it's just hard to see. We'll go on board with Christian. You can see that you really can't tell what's going on until it's too late. It happens so fast here. Oh, I noticed Christian had almost got that inside wall, but he comes out without much damage. It looks like everybody was able to avoid that for the most part. Well, all right. Well, the first caution of the night as Alan Smith goes for a ride down the front stretch, and here we go down pit road, which I would imagine we're probably going to be the last stop of the night. Charles Stevens will get the lucky dog because he got that caution he needed, so he'll go around and get back on the lead lap. That'll be good for that 84 machine. He was kind of waiting around, needed that for sure. We'll see who wins the battle off pit road. I think we'll see a lot of 4-tire calls. Looks like Alan Nash going to win the battle off the pit road. You see Daniel Cunningham coming out 3rd, Jonathan Cofield, Ray Rogers, and Aaron Adcock in top 5 as they come out of pits. Got some people still sitting on pit road, maybe getting a little bit of damage repair. Alan Smith being one of them, as he did get a good amount of damage out of that contact. This got hit pretty good by Anthony Anderson. Let's take a look at some folks that we haven't really talked about much tonight. Got old Chuck Felt on cam tonight, so we'll check him out. See what he's got. He had a big smile on his face just a second ago as he's hanging around in the back. You know, he's been kind of hanging back, working together as a team. We thought we were going to get green flag pit stops, but a checkup causes a wreck, and so now I think we're going to see intensity pick up. If you've been at the back, been hanging around, now it's time to make your way towards the front. And so we're going to see folks like Chuck start working his way towards the front if he can. Charles Stevens, he is coming around right now, getting that lucky dog. And I mean, I know Charles is definitely not afraid to go 3 wide. He's not afraid to put that 84 machine where it needs to be to go up there and try to get a victory. So he is now back in this thing with plenty of time to get up towards the front. And you see some guys coming down pit road again. Jonathan Cofield, others topping off on fuel, getting that extra little bit of fuel as we see all the guys come off of pit road. So they must be pretty close on fuel and want to make sure they have plenty to make it to the end. Now, Alan Nash, Aaron Adcock, Ray Rogers, they did not come back in as we take the 1 to green. So we'll see if that becomes a factor. I think what these guys will do is just clutch, turn their trucks off, let it ride, save as much fuel under pit road. If they're doing that, they really haven't used that much in 1 lap. The guys that came in, they may get just a tad bit of fuel. It won't be that much, especially if these guys are clutching it and turning it off, which I'm sure they are. If not, just riding in 4th gear, and you can see cutting the truck off right there. It goes all the way to 0. So he's not just clutching. This is on board with Alan Nash. He's not just clutching it. If he clutched it, it would go down to about 2,000. But he's actually cutting the truck off and then starting it back up. Trying to conserve as much fuel as he possibly can. Same here with Ray Rogers. You know, well, it actually looks like he is clutching it. It goes down to about 1,200, I think is what they idle at. So these guys doing a good job trying to save it. I think it'll be fine. I don't think that 1 lap's going to make a huge difference, but I think the guys that came down pit road just thought, hey, might as well come down. We can always get back up to the front. But that really changed the way the restart is going to look as Alan Nash and Ray Rogers side by side, then everybody else single file as a green flag is back out as one of the weirdest restarts that we've ever seen. Ray Rogers out there on an island by himself, and look back here. I mean, we got some guys that pinch could potentially lose the draft, how spread out they are. So not good if you're back here. If you're Lokovitz, I think they'll be able to get caught back up, but we'll go on board with maybe Kyle Roberts here. You can see not. Yeah, it looks like they will be able to get caught up as everybody's starting to check up here as it's getting tied up front as Tracy Pass is going to go 3 wide. Good Lord, he said, excuse me, I'm coming through. And he's got the 99 of Brandon Wallace. They had a massive run after that restart. And damn it, if the camera would just stay in one damn spot. 3 wide for the lead as we got a nice picture of the windshield of the pace car. Look at here. We ain't messing around. Still got 30 laps to go. We got a long way to go, and we are 3 by 3, 2 rows deep for the lead. Tracy Bass is starting to fall back a little bit in that middle lane. You can see kind of the nervousness of guys. Garrett Kidder's probably got the scariest view. We'll actually go look at it. Look how scary this got to look. He's like, oh, man, I don't know. Kind of want to get up there, but I'm a little nervous too. As, boy, look at him roaring off the corner. It looks like the top line of Ray Rogers, Alan Nash now falling back a little bit. But Brandon Wallace, man, I don't know. It is way too early in this last run. But you can see those who were saving fuel. Brandon Wallace, your stage 1 winner. Oh, my Lord have mercy. He is back and forth, back and forth. See it? Good gracious. Hold on to it, Brandon Wallace. I don't know if you can see yourself, but good Lord. Like a bus driver out there. Aaron Adcock going to hold on to that top spot with a big push from Daniel Cunningham. And now that bottom line is taking control of the race as the middle and top are fading back as Tracy, like he was trying to maybe get up to that top side, but he was not clear, not even close. Boy, that's wild. I can't believe that they are racing 3 by 3, 2 rows deep, and they're continuing to do that as Brandon Wallace still a little nervous. It just feels like a matter of time. I just can't help myself but feel like I've seen this 1,000 times before. It's going to be one wrong push, one wrong side-by-side movement where 2 drivers go the same route. But so far, so good as Brandon Wallace is pushing the hell out of Tracy Passons. They ain't saving the damn fuel now. Oh, my God, Brandon Wallace, what are you doing? He's going to go almost 4 wide. They almost make contact as Tracy Passons goes up the track and now picks up Alan Nash. That's his teammate. I think that was what Tracy was trying to do all along, get up to the top side, and that's allowed Brandon Wallace to be out there by himself. But I don't know what's going on, but here comes Alan Nash down to the inside of Tracy, and Tracy out there by himself going to go to the back. And that has killed the middle and the top line. They are just going backwards in a heartbeat. Look how quickly they dropped. As I don't know what the strategy was there. The only thing I can think of is somebody got too hot and had to pull out of. I think that's what happened maybe with Brandon Wallace, is that he started to overheat and he had to go somewhere else as they were pushing for quite a while. So that had to have been what happened. And it looks like right now maybe Alan Nash going to get the worst end of it. He is going to be by himself in the middle. I mean, right now, Brandon Wallace has definitely seemed like the most aggressive driver, and it has paid off for him. He has been able to go up to the front, stay up front. And here we go, 3 wide for the lead yet again. Oh, make contact with Ray Rogers. Comes down and maybe doors Brandon Wallace a little bit as he continues to try to push Tracy Passons, who is now out front. You can see there's a second pack of cars, and they've got the draft, but they are like, oh, hell no, I'm going to the back. And look at that big old gap back behind Jonathan Cofield to Charles Stevens, who's back in this thing, but they are giving him plenty of leeway. Is now Brandon Wallace going to be stuck in the middle here. But he's holding his own, doing as much side drafting as he can, trying to maintain, hoping that somebody will jump up there and go with him. But so far, no taker is going to drift back to the second line. But look at him, by himself. Able to maintain momentum at the moment, at least. Now you can start to see down the back straight. Oh, my gosh. You're going to pull in front of the 27 of Alan Nash. And going to be able to stop the bleeding as Tracy Passons pulls right down on the door of the 58 of Jonathan Cofield. And Ray Rogers actually backs off of the 53 just a little bit. So it may have been a little bit of overheating situation there for the 51. But right now, Aaron Adcock enjoys a really nice lead out front. Really no pressure now after that big push from the top side from those 3 wides. Tracy Passons, though, starting to get a run here. Ray gets back to the back bumper. Garrett Kendrick's got about a car length and a half. As he's got Kyle Roberts right behind him with Josh Lokovitz. They're getting a run here. We'll see what the 13 decides to do. No, they haven't been scared of going 3 wide yet, but it looks like he decides not to do that, probably for the best. As right now, I mean, I feel like our luck has been run out. But, man, what a great job these guys have been doing, running 3 wide. I mean, the only wreck we've had was somebody checking up and going spinning through the grass. But we were able to go 3 wide, 2 rows deep for multiple laps there. So impressive stuff that we came out on the other side, and we're still green. Now, Tracy Passons goes to the lead, got all the full truck length in front of Aaron Adcock. And you got to wonder now if Poman trying to control both lanes. You got Bandits down on the bottom, second and third truck in line. That's the 08 of Daniel Cunningham, the 58 of Jonathan Cofield, but they got Aaron Adcock out in front of him. And if you're a team and you're working together, you want to lead both lanes because that gives you control of the race. You see Tracy coming down, trying to do a little bit of side drafting as Ray continues to poke that nose out. I wonder if he's just trying to get some air to that 51 machine. We already saw the craziness of the last few laps, and it's going to calm down for about 10 laps or so, but that is going to pick up quickly as these laps will start to click off. And before you know it, it'll be 10 laps to go, and you better be up towards the front or you're going to be stuck with nowhere to go for too long. Again, with Ray Rogers, Tracy Passon is going to get side by side with the leader. I don't think I'm seeing that here tonight, but if I'm the 53, if I get a run on that 17, what I might do, is I come around to the 77 of Anthony Edgerton. We'll see if they're able to, excuse me, oh my goodness, don't have a cough button. Came out of nowhere. They're able to clear him, no problem. If I'm Tracy, there's a couple things I'm thinking of at this moment. The 08 and the 58 would love to get away from this Po-Man stuff. They want to get clear. You can see the 58. If he was clear, I bet they would pull up and leave the 17. What Tracy has to do is maintain this lead. He does not want to drop down in front of the 17. What he wants to do is get up side by side. If he gets out ahead, back off a little bit. Don't drop down to that bottom line if you can help it. Control both lanes. You see, he's get the big run here. And if he's trying to maintain both lanes, you kind of lift a little bit and kill that run. That way you maintain that side by side. There's nowhere for anyone to go. What the 17 and 53 have to be paying attention to is the 58 and the 08. Because as soon as they can get loose, they're going to drop the 17 in a heartbeat. There's no doubt about it. So right now, Po-Man is on the bottom with the 17. You got the 53, 51, which I'm not sure if Ray Rogers is considered Po-Man in Apex, but you got 13 and you got Kyle Roberts back there. So those are all kind of guys working together. So the 17 does not want to pull up in front of the 53, even though they're teammates. They want to continue to control these two lanes. That gives them control of the race. And the 08, the 50, you can see how hard they're pushing because they want to get the 17 out there. But if Aaron knows what he's doing, he's lifting just a little bit here, and he's trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. Because if those two get clear, they're going to maybe get up there and challenge Po-Man for the race win. So it's a little bit of gamesmanship here, trying to maintain, because right now nobody's really willing to go three wide at the moment, and there's just nowhere for those guys on the bottom lane to go. You can see Brandon Wallace really taking some looks underneath. We'll see what Tracy decides to do here. Does he go down to the bottom? Does he stay there? What is Ray going to do? Ray going to go down to the bottom. He says, all right, well, if you don't want to go down, I will. I'll take control of this race. And now you see the thing that I'm talking about when you want to control both lanes, because now Aaron Adcock, if he's not careful, if this continues, he could be 3 or 4 positions back. So if Tracy drops down, that's why that second guy in line is so important. But Ray Rogers is going to take, what am I talking about? I don't even know. Am I just making up stuff at this point? Who knows? But you can see the 17 going 3 wide. What the hell is going on here? They're going to make contact. What the hell was that? And Ray Rogers going around. Big crash. Massive wreck. Is this the big one? And caution is going to come out. And I don't understand what just happened, as there's trucks everywhere. Alan Nash involved, Matt Rogers, Christian Dedman, Brandon Wallace. The 51 of Ray Rogers is where it all started. I don't understand what happened there. We'll take a look at it here on the replay. Go on board with Aaron Adcock, man. Coming off the corner, we're on board with him here It kind of bumps him, and then I think maybe he just decided that he was go back a little bit more. I don't know if Ray kind of got out of shape, went down, and I think Aaron was nervous he was going to right hook him, and so he goes up to the third lane, and then it just closes up. And there's just nowhere for the 17 to go. I don't know if maybe them guys didn't know that it was 3 wide, but yeah, I have no idea. I'm trying to break this down for you, but I really don't know what happened there. Take a look at it from Daniel Cunningham's view. You can see there Aaron just goes to the middle, and then it kind of just closes up. As Garrett Kinder comes down, maybe just didn't know that they were 3 wide, and that was just a mistake out of that whole group of drivers, it seems like. I just don't know why the 17 went to the middle other than just trying to avoid right hooking the 51 right here. And then it just like the 13 was so focused on the pushing the Tracy Passons that he just didn't know that he was 3 wide maybe. See big pushes right here. All right. Yeah, that was a wild race. I am just so confused about what happened there, but either way, I'm done trying to break it down because I don't understand. Not quite sure. I'm just trying to spin my wheels here and try to figure out what was happening. The only thing I can think of is that I think maybe Ray went down a little bit, and I think Aaron maybe thought that he kind of got unhooked from him and got to his bumper to the right rear and decided, ooh, I better kind of stay here. And I think 13 and 53 came down not knowing that they were 3 wide, and I think that's where that contact happened. So that's going to set us up for a pretty wild run to the finish. Does everybody have enough fuel? Did everybody take enough fuel to make it to the end? We got a couple green-white checkers if we need them. Hopefully we won't need those, but that's something to think about. And when that wreck happened, it looked like Garrett Kinder just disconnected. So I don't know if he alt-F forward out of just kind of frustration or what happened there. Because he's not even on Discord anymore, so I don't know if he got frustrated about that wreck or what happened, but he actually just completely left the game. It says his connection dropped to upload packet, so don't normally see that when someone alt-F4s. Well, all right, let's reset it. We don't have that much time left to go. Lights are out on the pace car. We got less than 15 laps to go here in this first race of the season here in Apex E-Series. It's been a pretty fantastic race so far. And then starting to get a little messy, and we're going to see that continue to be the case, I think, going forward. As you got some guys in the back that want to get up to the front, but you got to go through these guys right here to get there. And so we're going to see some wild moves. I can almost guarantee it. We've got fast repairs used by Kyle Roberts, Charles Stevens, Josh Lokovitz, Christian Dedman, Michael Kostick, Alan Nash, Skip Easley, Ray Rogers, Chuck Phelps, Alan Smith, and Matt Rogers, and Anthony Anderson all use their fast repairs. So if you're Aaron Adcock, Tracy Passons, Daniel Cunningham, and Jonathan Cofield got to feel pretty good. You still got those in the bag. Will they need to use them? We're going to find out here as Tracy Pass going to lead us. Down to the green flag. Barney's got the green flag in his hand. Less than 15 laps to go to settle this thing here at Daytona. Tracy Passons gets a really good start here. And, oh, Charles Stevens going to make a wild move up to the top side. And Aaron Adcock says, no, I don't think so. The big wreck behind him. Josh Lukovitz, others involved. Daniel Holcroft involved. The caution is back out. Caution back out on the speedway. Let's see what happened there. Holcroft, you see it all started here. Once everybody checked up, and it looks like the 4 of Michael Kostick there on the inside as the camera switches. I'm getting mad at this camera. I'm telling you what. Watch right here. It looks like there's a big checkup. Yeah, and then just, again, guys just not expecting 3 wide. Maybe spotters are not turned on, or maybe just thought that Kostick would lift here. But, Kostick sees the checkup, goes 3 wide, and Lukovitz really was laying down on him. Watch it one more time. It was just a big checkup. And I think Kostick saw an opportunity to go here, and it's really hard to say right here because Lukovitz got some extra room, but you can see the 4 is actually right there leaning on that 79, and they just make contact. And, man, Daniel Holcroft gets the worst of it. And you got the Ryan Blaney version on board with Holcroft here. Watch this. Just minding his own business, not even paying attention. All of a sudden, bam! He goes around. Oh, Chuck Phelps almost missed it. Or he did miss it. Let's see. On board Chuck Phelps. See what happened. From his point of view, because I think he was able to sneak around this thing. See how far back he was, just knowing that any moment something could go wrong. Let's see if it paid off for him. Oh, man. That's a seat clincher right there as he was able to make it through. That's why he's hanging around in the back, having that big old gap allowed him to get around that thing. Like maybe some confusion about where the pace car is. They're going to hustle it around here. Tracy Passon's still got a ways to go to find that pace car. There he is. They're going to get called up to it right here. So we look down the list of drivers. Right now it's Tracy Passons, Daniel Cunningham, Charles Stevens, who was a lap down at one point, having to do a wave or drive-through. And now finds himself in 3rd place. Aaron Adcock in 4th. Kyle Roberts in 5th. Christian Dedman in 6th place. Jonathan Cofield in 7th. Ray Rogers in 8th. Chuck Phelps in 9th. Alan Smith rounds out your top 10. You got Matt Rogers in 11th. Alan Nash in 12th. Kip Easley in 13th. Michael Kostick in 14th. 15th, Josh Lukovitz. Brandon Wallace in 16th. Daniel Holcroft 17th. Anthony Anderson 18th. And Garrett Kinder is back out on the track, so he must have had some sort of disconnection. I'm not real sure, but we got some guys coming down pit road. Looks like Brandon Wallace, these guys are going to come down. He did stay on pit road for about 41 seconds to try to get some damage repair. We'll see if he uses his fast repair here. Maybe the damage is too much. He's actually going to have to back up a little bit. We'll see if he uses that fast repair, if he continues to try to get some damage fixed on it. Looks like he's going to continue to let them guys hammer it out. Try to save that fast repair if you can. And a little bit extra fuel maybe as well, just in case we have a few green-white checkers. If you auto-fueled there on that last stop, maybe going to be cutting it close, but Tracy going to stay out here and hold on to that lead. Anthony Anderson will get the lucky dog, I believe. He was the lucky dog, so he'll go around, get himself back on lead lap. We saw him go a lap down in that last little run, so Garrett Kinder, who was involved in that wreck but also had a disconnect, is the only driver a lap down. He's 3 laps down, so he's going to need a lot of 2 or 3 cautions here to get caught back up with some lucky dolls if he can. But outside of that, 18 drivers still on the lead lap. That's pretty impressive. But pretty much the whole field of fast repair has been used. Tracy Parsons, Daniel Cunningham, Aaron Adcock, Jonathan Cofield, and Brandon Wallace, the only drivers who have not used their fast repair. So it has gotten messy real quick. They were doing so good there early in the race. I mean, running 3 wide for quite a few laps there after the stage break. But since then, it's really not been because they've been 3 wide or they've been racing really hard. It's just been mistakes. It's been guys trying to maybe be a little bit too cautious that has caused these wrecks. Guys checking up a little bit too much to cause some really big accordion effects. Guys just trying to move up out of the way when they feel like somebody's about to wreck. I mean, just been a wide range of things that have caused these wrecks here lately. But I wouldn't say it's, just from aggressive driving. It's almost like they're just maybe a little bit too passive in a weird way. But I'm here for it. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. I have no idea who's going to win this thing. You never know in these truck races. I mean, somebody in the back get hooked up with another driver. We've seen guys pushing and been able to make their way towards the front by pushing someone else. And, with just 8 laps to go, 7 laps to go, when we go green, you really don't have to worry about blowing the thing up. You can really be aggressive here. Yeah, I think maybe 7 laps, you can't push for that long. So you really have to time it, I guess. But you can be a little bit more aggressive than the last few laps. All right, here we go. Going to be 7 laps to go when they take the green flag. Aaron Adcock, Tracy Parsons out front. Lord of mercy. Here we go. We're green now. About a corner behind. This is what you expect over here at VSRN. I mean, just top-notch quality broadcast. We forget to go back live. Out front, it's Daniel Cunningham with Aaron Adcock there on the outside with the 58 behind him. So teammates not lined up. We've got Bandits, Po-Man down to the bottom. And you got Po-Man Bandits on the top. And then you got Charles Stevens just squashing the 53. Good Lord. And they always talk about somebody pushing the pusher. And you can see Charles Stevens ain't playing around. There we go. Got contact in the back. It's Charles. Oh, Chuck Phelps makes contact, and I don't know who that is. Alan Smith gets damaged. It looks like they're able to hold on to it. No, they got more wrecking going on. Everybody's fanning out. Who the hell's going through the grass? That's Michael Kostick. No caution, as he's going to call it quits. Good Lord, let's go back and see what happened. As we're still racing, but there's a lot of stuff happened there. You'll see kind of that accordion effect is the 79 going to give a bad push to the 3. He's going to go back up the track. They're going to make contact. And then for some reason up here, they make contact again with the wall. I don't know who that was. And man, Kyle Roberts, bam! Look at that. Contact. No caution for that. Holy moly. Back live, though, no caution for that. I'm actually impressed. I need about 3 more cameras. But right now, got about 5 laps to go in this race. And you got Charles Stevens there, who was a lap down not too long ago. He's up front, leading this top line. You got Tracy Passes down on the bottom. And it is a 6-car breakaway. Charles Stevens, Tracy Passes, Daniel Cunningham, Jonathan Cofield, Matt Rogers, and Christian Dedman are the 6 drivers who are in this pack. Then you got Ray Rogers, Kip Easley, Brandon Wallace, and Daniel Holcroft just a little bit behind them. We'll see. They should be able to catch. So this pack's going to get a little bit bigger here as they got a massive run. We'll see. They don't really have anywhere to go. We'll see if they decide maybe to go to the outside, because it is coming down to check cashing time, as here comes Ray Rogers. Really nowhere to go. So now this pack of 10 at the moment. Tracy Passes with the lead. Got the 08 of Daniel Cunningham. He has been up front pushing that bottom line for a lot of part of this second half of the race. And he is in a great position to try to make a move when the time comes. Four laps to go in this race. Who's going to get it done and get the win here in race number 1? Tracy holding that bottom line. Cofield, Charles Stevens now getting a massive push down the back straightaway, and Charles Stevens is clear, but he's not going to pull down. He's going to hold on to that spot. He knows that Cofield's not his ally, and he knows that if he pulls down, now he's got to fight with Cofield. So he's going to try to hold on to that top spot, stay up front. That's where you want to be. You don't want to get shuffled out if possible. So he is definitely mirror driving at the moment. Trying to maintain these runs. See, he's got plenty of focus there on that 84 machine of Charles Stevens. And here we go. Somebody's going 3 wide. I think that's Ray Rogers going up through the middle. Dedman. Brandon Wallace now going to be stuck out there on the outside by himself. This guy's just nowhere to go. As Kip Easley now going to drop down to the bottom. Ray trying to stay with the 96 there, but just can't get clear. The 99 who's holding tough on the outside. You see Ray go up there, try to side draft, pull him back just a little bit. As we got 2 laps to go here in this race. Are we going to get it around and get the white flag? If we get the white flag, we're racing to the finish no matter what. We're still 3 wide back here. Brandon Wallace. I know the Rogers pair would love for Brandon Wallace to get away so they can go 3 wide. Here we go. Got clear. Can Matt Rogers, Ray Rogers, can they do anything right here as they come around? Tracy Passons with the lead. And they come around. White flag is out here at Daytona. Big pushes. Where's the run going to come from? Who is going to make a move? No movement yet. Who's going to go 3 wide? Who's going to make that decision to go up there and try to win this race? And it looks to be just 2 by 2. Here comes Daniel Cunningham now decides to make a move on contact. And they're wrecking. The whole field is wrecking. Brandon Wallace going to make contact. Brandon Wallace gets through. Daniel Holcroft down the back straightaway. It's a 2-horse race as they all wreck. Going into the back stretch. It's 2 by 2. Ray Rogers just a little bit behind, but it's side by side. Holcroft, Brandon Wallace. Who is going to get the side draft? They're bouncing off each other. Holcroft got some damage coming to the line. Who's it going to be? Ray Rogers looking at the line. It's going to be Daniel Holcroft is going to win by 1/1000th of a second. Wow. Daniel Holcroft pulls off a victory after a massive wreck. And we got to go back and watch that one more time. Holy moly, that was wild. Let's go back and look at it on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Go back just a little bit further. Man, that was wild. Go on board with Holcroft as this is the view of the winner. And we'll watch. Cunningham goes up. And I think Charles Stevens, yeah, wow, just like how it opened up, it still made contact. It goes through the grass. And it was just him and Brandon Wallace there at the end. We'll go back and kind of break down this wreck a little bit more. You know, you got to be upset if you're Cunningham, as you kind of see. You're going to see Cunningham go up, and the 84 is just going to kind of drop down and kind of hook him right on the left rear. Kind of just the 08 kind of goes up a little bit towards the outside wall, maybe trying to block the run from the 84, maybe going to the outside. Thought maybe he'd go out there, and the 84 kind of faked him out when he did. They come back down and make contact, and I mean everybody in that front pack makes contact, and that's what you expect here at Daytona. I mean, look at this, junk trucks, 2 of them side by side, and it's just a side draft fest. You can see Holcroft pulls the 99 back a little bit. Here comes the 99. Side drafts the 2, and as they come down to the stripe, man, look at that right there. Holcroft gets a nice shove from Ray Rogers as he was coming in at 100 miles an hour, and that was enough to give him the victory. And holy moly, guacamole. That was crazy. I know there'll be some unhappy folks here tonight, but there's a happy folk in the booth because that was fun to watch. I mean, you really can't beat you can't beat it when the whole field just goes up in smoke on the last lap and you have a winner come from that. So, pretty amazing. So, all right, well, let's take a look at the results, see where everybody finished after that melee, and then we'll talk to these guys and we'll call it a night. Holcroft, Brandon Wallace, they're side by side. Ray Rogers not far behind in that 3rd place. Cofield able to get through that mess, come home in the 4th position. Kip Easley in 5th, and all these drivers were well off the pace there after a couple of those wrecks, especially that big one that happened on the white flag lap. Charles Stevens comes home in 6th. Tracy Passons in 7th. Alan Nash in 8th. Anthony Edgerton in 9th. And 10th, Daniel Cunningham. In 11th is Aaron Adcock. Christian Dedman in 12th. 13th, Matt Rogers. And Chuck Phelps in 14th. Josh Okovitz in 15th. Alan Smith 16th. Garrett Kinder in 17th. Kyle Roberts 18th. Michael Kostick in the 19th position. 7 laps down after that contact. 7 laps before. All right, 4 cautions in this race. 25 lead changes. A definite nice race up until just a little over halfway, and then it kind of turned into a mess as everybody started getting those pushes a little bit more aggressive. Like I said, I really felt like there at the end was the first wrecks that we saw just out of pure aggression, but it's just a lot of maybe a little bit too passive there that caused a lot of those wrecks. Guys just not really sure where they wanted to go, making slow, kind of lazy decisions from time to time, and that really caused the majority of the incidents tonight. But something for everybody to think about. I mean, the whole field involved in some way tonight, and but what do you expect? This Daytona, and it's first race of the season, shaking the rust off, and guys going for that win. I don't really know what you'd be expecting. Well, all right, well, let's talk to our winner here tonight, Daniel Holcroft, able to get that victory. We'll pull him up in here and talk to him in just a second. And Daniel, what a crazy, crazy race. But there at the last lap, tell me your thoughts as you go down the back straightaway and that melee is happening on the backstretch.
I'm just sitting there going, oh, dear God, don't spin out. Keep it straight.
Well, you got knocked down to the grass, and you probably thought, oh, heck, my race is done. I'm not going to win. And then you come back on track, and there's nobody around you. It's just you. And then all of a sudden, here comes the 99 of Brandon Wallace. And you have to get into the, it kind of clicks. And you probably think, oh, God, I'm going to win this thing. And y'all start to side draft as you're coming down through 3 and 4 down the back straightaway, or the front straightaway. What were you trying to do there? You had some damage, but you were able to kind of, pull him back, and y'all were just kind of side drafting each other for a while. Did you think there down on the straightaway, he had about half a car length? Did you think you were going to be able to get back to him at the stripe?
We side drafted through 3, 4, and coming to the finish. And no, I didn't think I was going to get him. And then I saw Ray Rogers coming with a head of steam behind me, and I went, well, here's my chance. Ray's either going to run through me or push me to the win, and I just blocked him, and he shoved me to the lead.
Well, I mean, for a victory at Daytona, that's exactly what you got to do, and being there, and for the most of the race, I mean, you and Kip Easley worked really well together tonight. I think that was on purpose. Having a good teammate like that really helps. Y'all were able to stay in it for the most part, and it got a little wild at the end. But that's why we love Daytona, because you could be running about 10th place with half a lap to go and come away with the victory. And you were able to get it done the first race of the season, locking yourself into the playoffs, which is always a great way to start the season. So, man, congratulations on that. And, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
Well, I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything y'all do, and Aaron for putting this league on. And I got to really thank Kip, because I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to come back this season, and we talked about it, and I paid my dues this morning. That's how questionable I was, and it's nothing against the league. It's the way I work. I work on call 24/7, so it's hard to make every race. But yeah, I guess now I'm gonna have to make time to make more races, seeing as how we're already locked into the playoffs, first race of the season. But yeah, Kip, man, couldn't ask for a better teammate. We tried to push each other from the back to the front, stayed up front, and then we just had a plan, and we stuck with it, and it actually worked out pretty good. We got lucky there at the end, though.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody has ever won at Daytona or Talladega without a little bit of luck, and I think that is, it's part of the race, and so you did what you needed to do. You stayed in it, and there at the end, when the melee happened, you came out not unscathed, but you came out with just you and Brandon Wallace. You're able to battle it out. So congratulations on the win, first race of the season, Daniel Holcroft. Congratulations, man.
Man, I appreciate it, Eddie. Y'all have a wonderful broadcast, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Well, there you have it. Your winner, Daniel Holcroft. And, hey, man, what an exciting way to win a race. We got to bring second place in here, Brandon Wallace, and see what he thought about it. Brandon,
Hey, Eddie.
Man, you were in the race all race long. You're up front, battling it out for the stage win. You're able to get that stage win. So great showing out of you early in the race, and then you kind of went to the back, or in fuel saving mode, and then the caution comes out, and that fuel saving mode kind of went out the window, and immediately your passiveness, you kind of hanging out at the back, kind of went out the window immediately as well, and you went right back up to the front, and you really had no issues getting yourself there at any point in time. Now, you got shuffled out at one point, a couple times 3 wide by yourself, but you were able to get back up there. Talk a little bit about your race after that stage win and what you were trying to do there.
Yeah, after the stage win, I just sat in the pits on purpose for a little bit just to go to the back because you got to learn somewhere you're going to be in the back. So I wanted to make sure and see how everything worked. And you know, we had a long way to go. Just going to save a little bit of fuel and instead of being out front and having to pit first or by yourself. So then once that caution came out and it was just kind of go, and then went 3 wide in the middle there, and I don't know, my truck started doing some weird stuff and just fishtailing, and I was hanging on for dear life and making everybody nervous, but I couldn't back out because you're 3 wide, and so then it was just after that, it was just try to stay aggressive, try to stay up there. The truck got a little wounded on that caution. I got spun, and it didn't kill the truck. I had a minute and a half of repairs, but I didn't really hit anything, but got all that fixed, and it was a little slow by myself, but I just hung in there, and then when the wreck happened in front of us, I was going, and it was just me and Holdcraft, and then I figured he was going to pull away because I was hurt and slow, and we motored and banging off each other and side drafting, and I thought I had him, and then I saw the 51 coming, and I thought, I'm good, he's not going to catch us in time, and had to look at time and scoring to see if I won or not, because I didn't know at that point.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty crazy last lap, and I mean, it's just a lot of fun watching both you go through 3 and 4, and he had some damage. I mean, he got a pretty good little hit there. You made it through with some damage. I mean, you had a little bit of contact with Tracy Passons, but I mean, it's funny to watch because you had to think when you came back on the track and you got through the wreck, you had to think, oh God, I got this thing. I got this thing, but I'm all by myself. And we'll take a look at the replay here. And then you're like, oh, man, I'm all by myself. And then all of a sudden, here comes Holcroft back up on the track.
Yeah, the two comes from the left. It's like, where'd he come from?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to go on board with you just to see that because that I think that's funny. I mean, just watching you miss the wreck. We'll go back and watch this one more time. And I know it's weird to do during an interview, but I kind of wanted to highlight just your wild ride here on the backstretch is it just all falls apart. And you can see just trucks going everywhere. You make a little bit of contact with Tracy, and you look, oh, I'm all by myself. Then here comes the two just right out of nowhere with his fender pointing like he's giving you the middle finger. And, but man, able to get through that with, made it through unscathed. And y'all kind of battled it out there at the end. Just a lot of fun to watch that. But just what was your thoughts as you got through that wreck, and here comes the two, and then it just becomes a side draft fest to the end of it?
Well, I didn't know how much damage he had because he initially kind of had a little surge in front of me. I'm like, okay, I'm done. The truck's RPM's down. I've got no speed. And then I kind of motored by him. And then in the corner, he motored back. And then we start side drafting. And I was like, I got a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah, like Ace Ventura. So you're telling me there's a chance. But
absolutely.
It's cool. It's cool to see y'all go side by side. I thought you had him, and then right there at the end, I think you had him, but Ray Rogers, Holcroft put a big block because Ray Rogers had a huge run, and he gave him a big old shot, and I think that was what he needed because it was 1/1000th of a second was the margin of victory. So, hey, second place, you got the stage win and you got second place. That should give you the points lead going into the second race. So, while you weren't the winner, you didn't get the trophy. You do get the top of the standing. So, got to feel pretty good about that. But congratulations, Brandon, on the second place finish. And as always, who you got to thank?
I want to thank, obviously, you and VSR, and you guys do a great broadcast. Haven't heard you in a while. It's been a while since we've raced and heard your broadcast, so it's always great. And, all the guys over at Pullman and, of course, the Reaper teammates, with the coach and Kinder in there. And sorry they had problems. And, of course, obviously, Apex Sim Racing, Jimmy over there, American Great Apparel, Chuck Pegleg, those guys, everybody that helps puts on the league, Aaron Adcox, this is a wonderful league, great people, glad to be a part of it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for talking to me. Congratulations again on tonight, and we'll sure we'll be talking to you next week.
All right, thanks, Eddie, appreciate it.
All right, well, let's talk to Ray Rogers. Been patiently waiting here as your third place finisher. Ray, this Eddie in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, it's been a while since we have talked, and what a wild race that was. You kind of have to expect that type of racing. First race of the season. It's been a while, and here we are at Daytona. It's just kind of what you expect, and you were kind of hanging back to start with, then started getting aggressive. What did you see out there that was causing some of the issues that we saw here tonight? What did it look like from your point of view?
I just, it's just typical Daytona, speed racing. Just a lot of people jockeying around. It just you couldn't really go nowhere. So people just a lot of impatient, right, not giving each other space. So kind of causes a lot of checkups. So it causes incidents. But all in all, it's not a bad race. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was fun. Y'all were trying to make your way through the pack there at the end, and when that big melee happened, you were one of the three drivers that kind of came out of it with with at least going forward, and you saw the two guys out in front of you side drafting each other, and you knew that you were going to catch them. You started seeing that momentum pick up as they were kind of sucking each other back. Just back and forth, back and forth. And you had a massive run there at the end, and you got blocked by Daniel Holcroft right at the line. But either way, I mean, did you think maybe you were going to get him when you were coming through 3 and 4?
Yeah, I actually thought I was going to get. I knew it would be close because obviously I had damage too, but I think I didn't have as much as they did. I really thought I would get them by the line, but I needed about 50 more yards, and I think I could have got around them. But all in all, man, what a fun race! I took my time at the beginning, and usually I don't force issues going 3 wide, but I was like, we weren't going anywhere, so I gave it my best shot, and it didn't work. But to come out third, it was just a lot of fun racing.
Yeah, well, hey, it's good to see you again. Looking forward to racing with you on Sunday nights. I think that's going to be a lot of fun in the Sunoco Cup Series. So glad to talk to you again. Looking forward to that. And man, congratulations on third place. Who you got to thank?
I Obviously our sponsors, Apex Sim Racing, American Grid Apparel, Chuck Phelps, Low Cash Motorsports, Kinder Farm and Ranch, and of course the famous Aaron at Man Motorsports from putting this on every year, and obviously you to VS Speed for doing this, so I can go back and watch it tomorrow and actually hear all the excitement.
Well, there's definitely a lot of excitement there towards the end. So, but man, congratulations on third place finish. I know we talked to you about 5 times last season. So looking forward to having more conversation with you, Ray.
I appreciate it, Eddie. Have a good day.
All right, well there you have it. That is your interviews for tonight, and that is your Man Motorsports post race interviews, and that's going to do it for us here tonight. What a fun race. It was exciting for sure there at the end, but at the end, it is Daniel Holcroft takes home the victory, and Brandon Wallace who comes in second. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for V-Speed Racing Network. Definitely appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all next week. We'll take a look at the schedule one more time, see where we're going. We know where we've been. Going to Atlanta next week, so we expect more of what we saw tonight, maybe even worse as it gets a lot tighter. Not a whole lot of room to move around. Gonna be a lot more pushes, shoving. It's gonna be a mess next week, so come on by. That's gonna be fun to watch. Then we go to Vegas on the 7th of March, and Bristol. Oh man, what a cool next 3 races, and then for some reason Coda. Either way, should be fun to see how that plays out. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. Y'all have a great night. Want to thank all the sponsors here. We got to thank Jimmy with Apex, of course, and got to thank American Apparel for their sponsorship this season. We'll get a logo for them next week. I tried to find one, couldn't find one. We'll get Boss Man Aaron to give me one. Thank Chuck Pegleg, Low Cash Motorsports, and Po-Man for the interviews, and of course Kinder Farm and Ranch for the Wreckage Rewind. Got quite a few of them tonight. So, all right, guys, y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all next week for some racing at Atlanta.